What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Accepting All Trades. In this one, we are using the Colorado Avalanche, who, if you didn't watch my last video, are one of my top four or five favorite teams. I used to love them in the Joe Sakic, Peter Forsberg days, and I'm loving them now. They got Nathan MacKinnon. His jersey's right behind me. They got Mikko Rantanen, Gabriel Landeskog, that dynamic first line. But I've also got younger guys like Alexander Kerfoot and Cale Makar, who have impressed a ton. I mean, Makar, this is his first playoffs. He hasn't even played a regular season game yet, and he's already dominating. So, yeah, I mean, Colorado Avalanche, on paper, and in this game and the stats, might not be in their favor, but you never know. They could make a run to the playoffs here. So let's go. So looking at our division setup, we're 91 overall, same with 4 other teams in our division, and the other 2 that are clearly better than us on paper and Nashville and Winnipeg. So there is a definite possibility for us to make the playoffs here. I mean, the Avs just squeaked in real life. Let's see if we can do at least that again this year. All right, so all the settings have been finalized. We are ready to take control of the Avs for a 1-year simulation while we accept every trade offer that comes our way. But before we do, guys, as always, let me know in the poll above, how do you think the Colorado Avalanche are going to do this year? Are we going to make the playoffs? Are we going to win the Stanley Cup, or are we going to choke it and miss the playoffs entirely? The Avs have made it at least to the second round at the time of recording this video. Let's see if we can do as good as that, if not better. So I think I've been kind of doing things backwards. I feel like I should look at the team first and see how things are set up and how things look, and then go to the trade block and make my decisions and see what players I actually want to put on the trade block so I don't destroy key pieces of our franchise. So first line, you all know what it is. Rantanen, MacKinnon, Landeskog, 290 overalls, and MacKinnon probably should be a little bit higher based on the way he's been playing in real life. Landeskog 87 there, the power forward. The second line wingers are Colin Wilson and Matt Nieto, who probably third, maybe even fourth line forwards on any other team. Sven Andrighetto, Derek Brassard is not a bad third line center, with Calvert and JT Compher, Soderberg, and Vladislav Kamenev. So, I mean, their center core is actually not bad, but their wingers, I mean, they're going to have a lot of trouble scoring, I think, in this sim, so we got to get some help up there. On defense, we got Eric Johnson, Tyson Barrie, so that's a pretty solid first pairing. Not great, but not terrible. Ian Cole and Cale Makar, all right? So the rookie's here for a full season this time, not jumping into the playoffs, so let's see what he can do. Maybe he can win the Calder. You never know. Then we got Patrick Nemeth with Sam Girard. He's a young kid as well. And in net, we got Varlamov, however you want to pronounce it, 86 overall with Grubauer in net. So I think our definite needs right off the bat are some depth forwards. So around, I'd say anywhere from between like 82 to 85 overall, I think is the kind of overall range we need, in wingers especially. So maybe we can probably pawn off a lot of our draft picks, who should have high trade value at the start of this year, and maybe some prospects too. All right, so this trade block was pretty interesting to set up. So, I mean, based on how our team looks, surplus, you know how it is. Everything and anything's on the table. In terms of our wants, I made it a forward, a defenseman, and no goalies, because we have a starting goalie and a backup goalie solidified already. So I don't think it'll be worthwhile to have a goalie come back on our team. It just doesn't make sense. So instead of goalie, I put pending UFA from the start of the year. So let's see if that'll make some more trades, because last episode was weak. Another small change I did was make the maximum age 39 years old for both forwards and defensemen. And for forwards, I made sure that the overall rating was at least 80, because we got a lot of like 78, 79s already. So I don't think it'll do us any good if we keep getting those player overalls. And now the fun part was actually picking the assets. So, we have MacKinnon, Rantanen, Makar, Landeskog, Barrie. All those guys have massive trade values. So I didn't think it would be worthwhile to put those guys on the block. Instead, I picked Tyson Jost, who's not really on our team, but he has good potential. He's got 2 years left. He could be a roster player for other teams. So I think a team would enjoy picking him up. And I forgot about this until I went through my draft picks. We actually have Ottawa's first round draft pick and our own first round pick this year, so we got a lot of draft picks to trade. Let's see if any teams want those. All right, the time is here. Let's see what the Avs can do. Let's see what that first line, how much of a load can they carry on their backs this year. So let's go through these first 2 months here to the end of November. Let's begin. All right, so after the first 2 months, I mean, I'm not really sold on this team just yet. We're out of a playoff spot, but we're 1 point back from 3rd place in our division. So if that's the case, if we want to make the playoffs, we got to come in 3rd in our division, because I don't think a wild card spot will be coming from the Central Division. In terms of our points, Rantanen is leading, but he's not point per game, so I need to see McKinnon. I feel like if we want to make the playoffs, we gotta have McKinnon as our leading scorer. McKinnon or Rantanen, both of them have to step up big time. All right, we have yet to have a trade roll in, and I don't know if EA changed something in some update or whatnot, but we have not received a single trade offer, and we're about midway through December here. We're racking up a lot of losses, and this season is just taking a turn until today. I don't know what day it is, but we got Jussi Jokinen from the Kings for a 6th round pick. So you know what? I mean, he might crack the roster. I'm not sure what his overall is, but you know, at least we got 1 trade early. This may be a sign of more trades to come. So you know what? I'll take a player for a pick straight up. That's good for us. All right, we're on a bit of a streak here. As long as we can go like 2 wins, 1 loss, 2 wins, 1 loss, I'll be happy with that. There's another 2 wins, and I think this one will stop before we get to Vancouver, but it looks like we picked up the pace here, and we have more draft picks moving for another player, Nick Kronwall this time. He's old, but he should be a roster player. We will take that from the Detroit Red Wings for a 3rd round pick from the Sens and a 5th round pick from your boys. Welcome to the team, Nicholas Kronwall. All right, so with a 27-16-7 record, we are officially moved in to 3rd place, and it looks like the Pacific Division is actually choked because now both wildcard spots are from the Central. So this bodes well. I mean, it looks like a tight race. I mean, if we can stay ahead of Chicago, Nashville, we should be all right. We could even move into 2nd, but that'll just change home ice advantage, not who we play. And like I said, he's a leader on our team, Nathan MacKinnon. You know, he's not point per game just yet, but he is leading our team in points on the score sheet. So I'm pretty happy about that. Let's see what our lineup looks like now. All right, so first line hasn't changed, and that's, you know, good news. Colin Wilson, Kerfoot, Nieto. So really, our forwards have not changed in the slightest. But our defense, we now have Nick Kronwall there, 81. Makar has moved down, but I'm sure he'll be moved back up because he's grown. He's already at 82. And in net, Varlamov and Grubauer still. All right, so I'm pretty happy about this. We got a couple trade-ins so far, and now we got about 3 weeks until the trade deadline. So, I mean, things could still change with this team. We got our 2 first-round picks still up for grabs. You know what? A lot of teams want our picks, including Columbus. So we're getting Keith Kincaid, even though the goalies are not on our wants. I guess he's a pending UFA, so that's why he qualifies. So annoying. And Carl Soderberg is leaving. So our, what is he, 2nd line, I think? Our 2nd line center we're losing for a goalie that we absolutely do not need. So this trade hurts us a fair bit. And it looks like that might be it for all the trades in this episode. They usually call on us and we don't change it. Then we go through the trade deadline with no more trades. All right, we're on a bit of a losing streak, or 3-game losing streak right through the trade deadline. All right, so we're just barely hanging on to a playoff spot. Actually, St. Louis, we're 7 points up on the last wild card, which is St. Louis. I mean, I don't think we're going to drop out at this point, but you never know. Looks like Rantanen and MacKinnon keep fighting for the team lead in points here. And let's have a final look at our rosters before we sim through the rest of the season. And Jussi Jokinen, the new acquisition, he is finally getting a shot because Carl Soderberg left. So Kerfoot, Brassard, and Comfer now are in here. Jost didn't get traded. Nobody wanted him. And our first line still intact with no overall movement. On defense, you got Makar back up on the 2nd pairing with Kronwall aging and at 81 overall. You know what? This team hasn't changed too much. I mean, we've gotten rid of some picks. I kind of wanted to get rid of those first-round picks because I would have drawn some awesome players, but you can only control so much, right? So let's go through to the playoffs. Let's make our push. Let's not choke. I really don't care about anything else other than those Central Division games, like against Dallas. This 6-game losing streak does not help at all. Minnesota, yes, big win. Central Division swing here. 2 against Chicago in a home and home. Big shootout win and then a regulation loss. Dude, you hate to see that. 8-1 loss to the Vegas Golden Knights. Oh my god. We could literally choke this right now. Just get a couple wins to end the season, please. Against... Okay, we got 92 points. I think that should be enough for a playoff spot. Think we did? Yes, we did. We are playing the San Jose Sharks, so it looks like we got a wild card spot. Alright, so I think we got to do something about the gameplay sliders, honestly, because I'm not happy with the amount of points that are being scored in this sim. Like, my god. Compare this to the actual regular season. I mean, Kucherov almost got double the amount of points that Rantanen got. So we got to do something about the scoring here. The team lead, Mikko Rantanen, 66 for McKinnon and 56 for Landeskog. All right, so no surprise there whatsoever. I guess you get depth in this rather than, you know, a few players tearing it up, but I prefer to see the outrageous seasons, honestly. Tyson Barrie had a great season, almost as good as Gabriel Landeskog. Brassard on the third line actually did well. Makar, he's a -10, but he got a few points here. 10 goals, double digits. You love to see that. And our goaltenders, Varlamov did all right. Save percentage was not really that good, and his goals against was pretty bad too. Looks like Kincaid got the backup role and pushed Grubauer out, who actually had some pretty good stats. Kincaid's stats were slightly better though, even though he didn't have the greatest record. He still had some pretty good stats. All right. Now across the entire league, in terms of goalies, you got the same faces every single time. Hellebuck, Murray, Jones, Riddick, Quick, Dubnyk, Vasilevsky. Binnington actually did really well for himself. Same with Riddick. So, you know, the goalies who actually kind of were sleepers at the start of the year in real life this year, they actually had a good sim. Rask also had a great year. So statistically, Rask should win the Vezina. He didn't get the most wins though. So, you know what? It might be a toss-up between Hellebuck, Jones, and Rask. And I feel like Rask is going to get it just because his stats are just that good. All right, let's look at defensemen for the year. Drew Doughty led the way with 68 points. So Drew Doughty almost had as many points as our team's leading scorer, Mikko Rantanen. Jesus, those 3 Swedish defensemen, absolutely nuts on their respective teams. Yossi, so a lot of 60-point defensemen. So I'm not too mad about the defenseman stats, but the forward stats are just horrible. Except for Phil Kessel. Phil was the only one with a 100-point season. He had 50 goals, 55 assists. Didn't know he was more of a playmaker. Him and Ovechkin, who continues to have ridiculous sims year after year. Kuznetsov feeding him year after year. And, okay, so you know what? I think it was just our team. Our team was more depth strong than, you know, single player strong. Phil had an awesome year. My God. Crosby, too. Let's look at the standings now and see how everything played out. So we obviously got that wild card spot, so the divisions actually ended up splitting. We made the playoffs by 1 point, so we almost choked it big time. In the playoffs, we're obviously playing the Sharks, who had 108 points, tied with the Flames, the same exact record, but they had more regulation and overtime wins, so that puts them over the edge. Had more goals too, and less goals against, so they're just the better team overall. And then the East, Pittsburgh Penguins won the President's Trophy with Phil Kessel and Sidney Crosby leading the way, 111 points. Washington, Boston, Tampa, Toronto, Columbus, Buffalo, Detroit. So these are the 2 new teams in the playoffs this year. Last but not least, let's look at the playoff tree before we get into the sim here. So we got the Hawks versus Wild, that Central Division matchup you always see year after year. We got the Jets versus the Knights, which is a good first round matchup. Flames versus Kings, and Sharks versus Avs, which is what's happening in the second round real life right now. Caps and Blue Jackets, Pens and Red Wings, the Bolts and the Leafs. So the Leafs actually avoided the Bruins and the Bruins in the first round, who are playing the fellow B Buffalo Sabres. All right, so it should be an interesting playoffs. Let's get into it here, like we always do. Simulate 3 games. We actually ended the season on a 3-1 loss to them. And we continue to have the 4-0 loss, a 2-0 win, tie the series, and take the series lead, steal home ice advantage, and we're up 2-1. All right, let's continue it. No changes needed here. A big 2-0, 3-2 win, a 3-0 loss, so they tie the series up. They take back home ice advantage. And who will take the... okay, all right. Damn, man. There are a lot of shutouts here. So you know what? We can put this series away right now. Put away the OT loss. Don't tell me we took a 5-minute major again. All right, we got to enter the simulation here. Let's go in. Game 7, round 1. The odds are against us for sure. Let's... Oh, I simmed the period, and it's 4-0. Let's go. Man, should I just do that again? Matt Nieto, Kerfoot, Ranson, and Landeskog, all the big names. We actually forced the Sharks to pull Jones. It's Aaron Dell now. All right, you know what? Screw it. Let's sim another period. Boom. 5-0. Let's go. Gabriel Landeskog, end this game right now. 8-2. Yo, the boys were buzzing. Not even close. And we move on in lovely fashion, dominant fashion, to the second round. All right, we're playing the LA Kings. All right, so the team that traded us, Jussi Jokinen, the team that we absolutely fleeced for Jussi Jokinen. We go up 1, and then we lose the next one, and we bounce back. So we still, I don't think we'll ever have home ice advantage. So we stole home ice again. Let's go. We're up 2-1 in this series. Up 3-1. We were 1 win away from the conference finals. Let's go. Finish it off. Oh my God, these Colorado Avalanche are absolutely tearing it up, man. And we are playing the Vegas Golden Knights in the conference finals. So Vegas made a run back-to-back years in the conference finals. Let's prevent... Okay. Oh my God, I thought we were going to go down 0-3 real quick. We got shut out, then 3-2 loss. We're chipping away. We pull out a big win in overtime. All right, so you know what? We gotta win. We gotta win here, boys. Big game. 6-1 win. All right, we tied the series. Let's take it to the all-important game number 5 to decide who goes up 3-2 in the series. It's us. Another OT win. Let's go. All right, 1 game away from the Stanley Cup final with the Colorado Avalanche. All right, let's jump into it here. Oh my goodness. All right, let's go period by period here. This is a Cinderella run. The 8th seed, the wild cards. Actually, you know what? It's kind of mimicking real life. Colorado, the 8th seed. They could actually do it in real life if they pull off a win against the San Jose Sharks. This period, nothing has been solved. Let's go. Scoreless after 1. Cody Eakin scores. Boys, you gotta pick it up here. Just gotta solve Marc-Andre Fleury. You got 1 period to do so. I'm kind of over dramatic here because I just remembered we're up 3-2 in this series, so not the end of the world, but we want to put this series to bed right now. We haven't got a shot in a hot minute. Oh my God. All right, we're going 7 again. We have to make it hard on ourselves. Will we go game 7s in every series if we make it to the Stanley Cup final? Let's go. All right, the all-important first goal. Who's gonna get it? We need it badly, I think. We need that confidence after getting shut out 1-0 last game. Scoreless after 1 once again. Who's gonna get the first goal? We're out shooting them. Maybe that might be our Achilles heel. Riley Smith. Again, these shots are lopsided in our favor. We have all these power plays, and we can't score. This could play out the exact same as game number 6 unless one of you boys step up. I'm looking at you, McKinnon, Captain Landeskog, or the big Finn Mikko Rantanen. Do something on the power play. Oh my God. One last power play. Oh! That is a disgrace. That is an absolute disgrace. 37 shots on goal. How many power plays? Marc-Andre Fleury, you animal. All right, well, we didn't end up winning. We didn't end up losing to the eventual winner either. We lost to one of my favorite teams, the Toronto Maple Leafs. All right, so we beat the conference winners, San Jose Sharks, in 7 games. Then we go up against the LA Kings, dominate them in 5. Then we go against the Vegas Golden Knights, and we lose a heartbreaker. Could not score, and then the Knights get swept by the Leafs. The Leafs, who only lost 5 games all playoffs. They beat the Bolts 4-1, then the Sabres did the Leafs a favor by beating the Bruins in 5, then getting beat by the Leafs in 6, who then beat the Caps in 6, and swept the Golden Knights. Oh my goodness. So let's see what the awards were. Obviously, we know who won the team awards. Look at the player awards. Phil Kessel, most points, obviously. He gets the Hart as well. James Norris goes to Erik Karlsson. All right, so we beat the team with the Norris trophy winner. Bing goes to Kessel as well, so that's 3 already. Calder goes to Pettersson again. Freddie Anderson carries the Leafs to a Conn Smythe. Vezina for Rask. Okay, yeah, statistically he had the best season, and he led in the Leafs goals as well with the Jennings. Alexiak for the Masterton. Selke goes to Getzlaf. Okay. All right, a new face instead of Bergeron or Kopitar. Good to see. Ted Lindsay, Phil Kessel, and Maurice Richard goes to Ovechkin, as it is pretty much 9 times out of 10 in these sims, with another 60-goal season. All right, guys, so there you have it. The Colorado Avalanche made the playoffs, went on a decent run, but eventually choked it. Back-to-back 1-0 games against the Vegas Golden Knights. So, you know what? Honestly, I think that's all they could ask for this year. A conference final appearance in real life. I'm sure Avs fans would definitely be happy with that, but they need to rely heavily, like they did in this sim, on their first line. I really hope you guys have been enjoying the return of All Trades Accepted. I know I have been, and you guys have been showing a lot of support in these videos, so thank you very much. Make sure you vote in the poll in the community tab on which team you want to see me use next. And until next video, I'll see you guys soon. Peace!